Hello, everybody. This is Curtis from Newfie Speed and Custom. Uh, so as I finished off last week, I was pretty close with the getting the bell housing centered to the middle of the crank. So yesterday I finally dug my heels in. I had to get my wife come out and help me, so you know how all that works. So we spent about an hour fooling with it, adjusting it a little bit at a time, till we got it within spec. I'll show you here now. Because I was trying to do it by myself, and as you can tell, it's kind of hard. I don't know if you can see it or whatever. There's that. I'll crank the engine over, and we'll see what happens. You tell me how far off from the gauge it goes. I think I started around there somewhere. So if you can see, it's about 4th thou it moves, which is well within spec. They wanted 5 thou total clearance, so I have it well within spec. But right now, I'll show you what I'll do. I'll just tap the dowel pins in, make sure they're seated all the way, and then tighten them down, and then we'll go from there. So what I'm going to do right now is the dowel pin right here. I don't know if you can see, there's like a little Torx bit in there, or Allen key. I don't know if I can zoom this in, make it better, so you can see it. But anyway, all I'm going to do is take the hammer, make sure it's seated. This is the dowel pin that goes in the engine. I don't know if you can see this, but if you see right here, so this side is machined like offset to this side, so you can actually put it in the engine and turn it. And as you turn it, it will change how much it pulls the bell housing in and out. And then, like I said before, it's basically the same thing as like when you want to hang pictures for your wife on the wall. It's split, and when you tighten in, there's a screw in the end there. I'll pull it out. It's just like basically like a big plug, pipe plug, and it kind of goes in the end. So when you put this in and you screw this down, and it goes out to the bottom, and it gets tight. Well, then what it does is it splits these wedges open, and then it wedges itself in there so it won't come out anymore. I don't know if I need to put any Loctite on this. I don't think so. It should be pretty good the way it is. So, and this is, like I said, that screw is like a 1/8, so super small. So we'll do this one over here. See if you can reach it. Yeah, we'll do this. Yeah, so I'll do this one here because I know I already tapped this one in, so I know it's already bottomed out. So we just put it in, turn it till it's tight. Then we'll just switch it around and tighten it in. And then now it should go super tight. I'm blocking it with my hand. I know it's a shitty camera angle, but I'm doing it by myself, so then just there's probably a Torx spig on that somewhere, but for this purpose, we're just going to do it hand tight. And then the other one is down there. I don't know if you get a good angle on that. Yeah. So just take the hammer, give it a tap in, like so. Take these things. screw it in. It's kind of harder on this side with the header being there. Let's see if I can do this 1/4 at a time, I guess. Oh, jumped on me. Can't really get it in there all the way. There we go. Feels tight to me. Now, to take all this nonsense out. So, just reach in, release the magnet, it falls right off. See what basically what it is a magnetic base. You just turn the magnet on, turn the magnet off. And then this here, it's all adjustable. You can move it all around. It's a dial gauge. So yeah, basically, this thing has a magnetic base on it. So you just basically puts it on the thing, turns it on, and then it's actually has pretty good force. Like it'll stay on there pretty good, and then when you pull it, pops right off. And then you can adjust it to whatever you want there. You know what I mean? Up and down and all around. So Princess Auto, dirt cheap. Away we go. So next one I'm going to do is just pull the flywheel off. Or that bell housing, sorry, I didn't mean flywheel. And that should pull right off, like so. Out of the way. Now, my next step should be to put the bolts in here and torque them down to spec. But they give you this fastener assembly lube for ultra torque. But my old school mechanic is telling me to put Loctite on that because that's what we did for hundreds. So we did all my career, 40 years, 30 years, something. So I'm going to cut open this side. Still keep the assembly lube. It's good for torquing down heads or whatever. And as you can see, I can't get this one started. It's because I got these ones tight, and there's a little indiscrepancy in the hole. It's probably over this way too far or whatever. It's not perfectly centered. That's why you should loosen these up. That way you can wiggle the flywheel, and you can put this in. So let me go grab my socket and gun. So just loosen them off. Now you can see it moves a bit. Just put it in, wiggle the flywheel a little bit, and then you could start the bolt, right? And it'll go in. So what I need to do now is some blue Loctite, put on these, and then run them in. Now what I like to use is this blue Loctite. Just kind of pull it out, pull a little tit up, just unscrew the bolts, put a nice bit on there. Because you don't want this thing coming loose, Rainer. Let's face it, when you get this thing doing like 6,000 or 7,000 RPM, not that I'm ever going to run it that high, but even 4,000 RPM would be enough to freak you out, I guess. wiggle it. It's super tight. Now I'm just going to run it in. Comes that way. 2. They're not in tight. They're just snug. Right? So now I'm going to take my thing and make sure, now that the bell housing's on the way, probably get another little bit of turn on that thing. So that's all good.
Okay, so I thought about it more and more, and the thing is, I think I'm going to go with the ARP specs. And the ARP specs say don't use Loctite, use the pre-lube, assembly lube that they have in that little pack. And then they say it goes to 75 foot-pounds, all the torque converter bolts. So I looked and looked and looked. I have an old manual here, Dodge manual from back in the day, S340. It has all the engine numbers in it and all the vehicles. Well, now I use this book quite a bit. And it actually says flywheel screws, all except 426. It's like 55 foot-pounds. So I'm kind of thinking about it. I'm kind of thinking maybe I should go with the ARP, what ARP recommends. But anyway, just to go back, so here is all the stuff, but I just did, but I didn't realize it was in this book. But Mopar is telling you back in the day, they were telling all their techs when they put in a new clutch to do basically the same thing, knock out the dowel pins, put in these offset. So this is basically what I was explaining to you about the offset dowel pins. This is a very big exaggeration of it, but see how they're not centered. And I guess, yeah, same thing. You could put them in and then you could clock it to get it to offset. Then they tell you, because you want bore run out, and then you put a C-clamp in it and a dowel gate. Exact same procedure I just did is what they showed you to do. And then they're telling you all the specs to use, which I didn't even realize was in this book. I didn't even realize they did it. So back in the day, if you were going through 883 standard transmissions and you couldn't figure out why you keep blowing the input gear out of them, this is probably the reason that you were probably supposed to center it all up, and no one never ever did it. Or no one I knew ever did it anyway. So yeah, it should be all good. Yeah, it's a pretty cool old book. It has everything in it. Like here's where I was trying to chase out wiring for the old Dart one day for part lights and stuff. There's another one here. This is how you wire them up. Like you can look, I traced out the wiring, which is, I just first got the book, I guess. Some of the pages are getting pretty bad now, but even to like tearing down the engine, all this is pretty bad. But even they use, like back in the day, you could see they use just a regular old Carpenter square to see if the spring was straight, sitting down, like, you know, pretty rudimentary tools. It has all the engine stuff in it, every category you want, all the torque specs, how to rebuild the steering box, which is probably what I'm going to have to do, how to rebuild the steering column, you know, how to rebuild a 883 transmission. Everything's in it. Here's something pretty cool I just noticed. So for the 904 and the 727 transmissions, they have all the flow charts in there where all the hydraulic fluid goes. So whatever gear you put it in, so right here in park, it just shows you how all the flow comes right out of from the input shaft down and all through to the manual valve, and then flows back. And then this one here is neutral hydraulic circuit. Then this one's the drive breakaway circuit. So they show you there's a 1-2 shift, 2-3 shift, 1-2 shift, and then all the circuits. So what happens is basically in a Mopar on a 727 or a 904, when it's in park, it doesn't really go to the, it goes to the oil filter, but it doesn't really go to the cooler. It's stopped until you put it in gear. Then you can see it goes through the cooler and goes out through to the cooling circuit and it comes back. But when it's in neutral or dry park, it doesn't really circulate oil through the cooler. Kind of got to put them in drive to run the oil through the cooler. So, yeah, it's all pretty cool. Then there's all the torque specs, clearances. There's a lot of cool stuff in the book, even like body stuff, like how to change the door handles, and it's pretty cool old books. Even look, if you add one with Ram Air hood scoop, or the hood scoops on the sides, you can buy all the undercoating stuff, under hood like air ducting, hood latch, park lights. That's for like an old Roadrunner, I guess, right? So yeah, it's all pretty cool. There's the headlights, all the vacuum secondary doors for a charger, which is what mine got, which I might change that out to, and then all the vacuum canisters. And oh, actually, that's not a vacuum canister, that's for the headlight doors actuator. Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff in the old book. If you ever, even how to put in where the like moldings go on the back of the trunks, like an old wagon, that would be cool. I'd like to do one of them one day. Seat belts, how the glass goes in. There's a lot of cool stuff in the old book. I probably should apply to it more than I, even like chassis points. Like if you have one that was bent, or if you got in an accident and you want to know where to measure. So you measure from a certain points and you cross-reference them and gives you, like there's your center line. And then you measure from basically air to air and you get this number, then you know she's not diamond or twisted. Same as the other way. All the measurements are there for every car. That's a body lamp for a Dart. This one's for a Coronet. So yeah, it's all pretty cool stuff. Even the heater box and the air conditioning stuff. Yeah, and then at the back pages, yeah, it's all pretty cool. Even tells you how to charge the AC. But yeah, I should probably use the book more often. Now, for the trick part, because I don't have one of them fancy tools to grab it, and I could do it and just kind of like wedge it on the dowel pin, but I don't want to bend the dowel pin. So I think what I'm going to do is I can buy new bolts if I bend the bolts, like these ones. I can get new ones, they're cheap. So the thing for me to do is wedge that against there. Oh, they tell you 4 steps. Okay, so 75. We'll back her back to the first one, be 35. So the gun actually sits at 35. The next one we'll put it at 55. Or 50. We'll put it at 50 for now. Next one I'll do 65. And then the next one we'll do there we go. So that's 75 foot-pounds torque. That is the flywheel installed for good. And now I gotta go back to work. So that's a flywheel installed. Unfortunately, now I gotta go. But anyway, I'll be seeing you guys next week. Thank you very much. And remember, if you don't work on your project, it ain't gonna work on itself.